Well, hey everybody. My name is Lucas Steeman, and once again, I'm here to talk to you about a certain topic that I hope you all find interesting. The certain topic I picked today it is about mental health services and why I feel that there's a need for more adequate, accessible mental health services and funding. So to start off, we have a problem here in America. So I want you to imagine here with me for a second. Imagine that you are feeling lost and helpless, and that the sheer thought of getting out of bed is paralyzing. It's a struggle. Imagine feeling so alone you contemplate suicide. Imagine attending funerals of friends who have suffered the same fate and felt that there was no other option but to take their own lives. I want you to imagine asking for help, but the help is limited, or you are waitlisted for services that you know could mean life or death. So the overview and purpose that I want to share with you today, I have a couple examples here. So mental health impacts our daily lives, from how we think and how we act, how we handle feelings. As college students, we are pressed with multiple stressors, multiple courses, your deadlines, sports, work, family life, etc. The daily grind can take a toll on us physically and mentally. It is important to, however, maintain adequate funding, have access to services that can help us protect a positive mental health structure. So, mental health in the United States. So, a statistic per the COMS Institute for Behavioral Health Studies indicates 1 in 4 adults experience mental illness in a given year. An additional statistic from the Cummings Institute for Behavioral Health Studies states nearly half of all Americans will develop a mental illness during their lifetime. America is in crisis. So what is the root cause for the problem? Well, we as Americans need to ask ourselves this. We need to ask our legislators this too. So at the 2018 Cohen Veterans Care Summit in Washington, D.C., a comprehensive study known as America's Mental Health 2018 was released. The purpose of this study is to identify access to mental health care. Testimonial evidence from the National Council for Behavioral Health survey included, and I quote, Americans' current access and attitudes towards mental health services revealed American mental health services are insufficient. And despite high demand, the root of the problem is lack of access or the ability to find care, end quote. All right, so how did this become a problem? Well, sadly, many politicians do not share this sentiment in the importance of adequate mental health services and funding. This is evidenced by the numerous budget cuts to the mental health agencies' funding for mental health substance abuse services. So a great example from a Mental Health American states, fiscal year 2019 budget requests $68.4 billion for the Department of Health and Human Resources, which is a $17.9 billion decrease from the 2017 enacted level. So this obviously has a huge impact on the emergency health care. A decline in these available services and funds has led to an increased emergency room visits. The lack of available mental health resources places stress on emergency departments nationwide. The Cummings Institute for Behavioral Health Studies indicates a shocking financial statistic of costing general hospitals roughly $38.5 billion last year to treat patients in mental health crisis. So when you're thinking of these emergency rooms in hospitals, so less beds equal more crime. A decline in these available services and funds has led to decreased psychiatric bed availability nationwide, so that therefore increases criminal and violent acts. From 2005 to 2010, state psychiatric beds decreased by 14%. A statistic from the Cummings Graduate Institute for Behavioral Health Studies says that there are serious consequences that have stemmed from the psychiatric bed closures from 2005 to 2010. Two additional statistics from Cummings state that the closed psychiatric beds in 2005 to 2010 had higher violent crime rates, as well as increased arrest-related deaths for those states that cut funding for public hospitals. So, suicide rates and negative stigma. So, suicide rates have risen dramatically over the years. A statistic from Business Insider cites suicide rates in the US have risen nearly 30% since 1999. Negative stigma attached to mental health keeps many from asking for the help they desperately need. The National Council for Behavioral Health cites statistical evidence stating nearly one-third of Americans, or 31%, have worried about others judging them when they told them that they have sought out mental health services. And over a fifth of the population, or 21%, have even lied to avoid telling people that they were seeking mental health services. So we need to be more aware and to break that stigma that it's not right to talk about mental health. It's very important to talk about mental health. So how do we solve this problem? So the way I see it, the solution to this problem appears easy. However, it takes a lot of time and energy to revise fiscal budgets to include better monetary contributions to an area where Americans need the most help, and that is in their mental health. Provide better access and quality of care, make it known that there are services available, and it is okay to ask for help. That's the number one thing. It's okay to ask for help. So some more proposed solutions: incorporate psychiatric emergency services, so PES, in emergency departments. A great example of how this provides better service outcomes for those in crisis that was demonstrated by the Cummings Graduate Institute of Behavioral Health Studies, indicating this coordination of care can significantly reduce costs, decrease readmissions, and prevent tragedies from occurring. An additional example and possible solution: the state of Ohio has adopted Per Care for Your Mind includes the vast majority of counties in Ohio, all but 12 out of 88, have adopted some form of property tax levy to support mental health services. So a little visual aid for the solutions. So imagine the solution that could be brought about with adequate resources and funding. There would be better access, better budgeting of services, less stigma toward mental health, and a hope to curb the ever-increasing suicide rate we see as a nation. So as fellow Americans, I think we need a call to action. We need to lobby and write our government leaders showing the importance of these funds and just how impactful they can be to anyone struggling in their mental health. Go out and vote. That's very important to vote for these. There are issues or levies that support additional funding to local, state, federal programs for mental health. So you may be asking, why does this matter? Think back to the beginning of this speech. Do any of those thoughts, feelings, or questions stick in your mind? Being paralyzed by the thought of getting out of bed? That suicide is your only option? Being waitlisted for help or no local services were available to you? Have you ever attended funerals for loved ones who felt the same and never got the help that they needed? Well, to be personal about this is why this subject is very important to me. I've been there through each scenario until 2016, when I finally asked for help in one of my darkest times of my life. Luckily, the access I had to such services is better than most, and I am proud to say that I have received the help that I did receive has led me to where I am today. So these are my references, and I hope this short little speech did maybe make you more aware of the problem that we have in America about mental health and the stigma behind mental health. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just let me know in the discussion, and I hope you all continue to have a great Thursday. Thank you.